as fast as possible, and presented by Bet365. No need to beat around the bush here. 80 to 90% of the Avs lineup just decided not to show up for this hockey game, Bailey.
No, that's it. I don't really know what to say about that. I know we got an hour to talk about it, but there's, not a whole lot of good coming out of most of this roster for this one. I am wholly disappointed, especially after the effort they showed in Toronto.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is a lot of guys' heads were not in this game. We talked about it in the pregame. You can't let yourself look ahead. There were guys at the top of your lineup thinking about Italy tonight, and there were guys at the bottom of your lineup thinking about Cabo tonight. All the way up and down it.
Yep.
They weren't thinking about tonight for 50 of the 60 minutes of this hockey game.
That's
not
generous
interested.
for some of them,
honestly,
too.
It is. It was that bad. No excuses for the Avs. Big picture, this game really doesn't matter that much. It's fine.
Nope.
But that didn't make tonight any more fun to watch.
No.
So
not at all.
Don't do it again would be the ideal answer here. You can't go back and change it, but you can recognize you maybe didn't have anything today and do better tomorrow, because the next hockey game the Avs play is 21 hours away. So it's going to come quick. At least you get to forget quickly. I'm not going to forget, though. I'm going to give you a 60-second rundown about this hockey game, and it's going to be brief. The Avs had 8 shots on goal total in the first 40 minutes of this hockey game. Worse, 17 shot attempts. The worst since the stat has been tracked in the NHL for the Avalanche. A joke. Frankly, a joke. They survived the first period of this somehow, only to give up a goal early in the second. And when they get their answer goal from Parker Kelly, they give it back immediately. Immediately. It's 2-1 Ottawa, and Ottawa would not relinquish the lead from there. After 2 horrible periods, you come out and you lay an egg at the start of the third and make it 3-1, making your life nearly impossible to come back in this game. And despite getting a goal from Val Nichushkin to make it 3-2, despite finally some guys putting some effort in the last 10 minutes of this game, it's far too little, far too late, and you got what you deserved if you were Colorado. Didn't need the full 60.
Nope.
The Avs didn't give a full 60. Neither will I.
It's when you look at a lot of the numbers here too. I mean, Ottawa took control of this for a lot of it. 9-6 in high danger chances.
Yep.
So, I mean, we talked about it in the pregame. You have to, against a team like Ottawa, against a team where like you're starting off the first game of a back-to-back. You're not coasting to the Olympics, but you want to put in at least some effort. This is not the kind of team you want to lose the high danger chances battle with. And frankly, when you look at the high danger chances for it, none of that, one of those is coming from your top line. And I say top line very loosely. Victor Olofsson got the boot. We will get into that.
Don't not worry. We will get into that.
It's just very concerning to me that when you look at a game like this, your forwards have half of your shots by the time this thing is over. Sam Linsky, Cale Makar, you're getting something out of a Josh Manson. But the fact that your forwards had half of them and your defense had the other half, that's just not enough.
You had 8 shots on goal through 2 periods. And on a normal night, that's horrible. It's James Reimer in net tonight for the Ottawa Senators. It is a guy playing his 5th game this season who got signed in January because you bodied this team.
Yep.
That is not a good goaltender. And you spend the majority of the game passing up shooting opportunities to try and make cute BS plays on a night where, look, every night the Avs have a penchant for overpassing. Tonight, in the third period especially, unacceptable.
Yeah.
Understand where you're at in the game. You spent 2 periods to get 8 shots on goal, and your game plan in the third is to not fire everything at the net?
Is there something going on with Nathan MacKinnon?
Yeah, I think his mind is in Italy. I think he is gone.
That,
He is not present.
Yeah. It just, like, when you see games like that and you only see, I mean, I remember making a comment during the watch along in the final minutes of the third period where I'm like, where has this version of Nathan MacKinnon been for the first 50 minutes, 55 minutes of this game?
Uninterested. Nathan MacKinnon, uninterested in playing the hockey game tonight. He wants to get to the Olympic break. He does not want to be here right now.
The thing is, though, right, is I'm not even sure, like, of course, like, that's the easy excuse to give, but that's been the excuse for Nathan MacKinnon for the last at least 4 of the 5 games.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. I think Nathan MacKinnon has been cruising through this section of the game or of the season. And again, big picture, I really don't care that much. The Avs are fine. They have earned the right to take some games off.
I'm allowed to be mad, Rudo.
You are. I'm also mad. But I want to set the stage of like, is this game unacceptable? Yeah. But also, you look at the standings and the Avs are still 10 points ahead of everybody in the West with multiple games in hand.
You have an opportunity to get to 80 tomorrow.
Right. The Avs will be fine. But that game was horrible.
Yeah.
Paying fans watched you not give a single shit about that hockey game. Top to bottom, this is not just Nathan MacKinnon.
Yeah.
This is so many players in that lineup would rather have been anywhere else tonight.
And I want to be kind of quick to jump to Mackenzie Blackwood's defense a little bit here, too. Like, top to bottom, minus Mackenzie Blackwood. Like, that first one you maybe have some conversations about. 2 of the 5 goals that went in, he was not in net for.
Yeah,
and
2 empty netters in the third one, he's never stopping.
No, never ever. So I want to give my flowers to a guy like Mackenzie Blackwood. I mean, he came up with some huge saves with this team leaving him out to dry. Yeah, essentially.
The Avs were frankly non-competitive for the vast majority of this game. Do you want to save on the first one from Blackwood? Sure. In a perfect world, does Blackwood read the crazy bounce and play the puck on the second one? Sure. There are also other major mistakes on those plays that also happened. No goal ends up in the back of a team's net because of one mistake.
Nope.
It's really frustrating to me, the lack of effort in tonight's game. Because, did Ottawa do a good job of shutting down the Avs? Sure. Did the Avs maybe make some unwarranted mistakes, not necessarily because of effort? Sure. We'll get into all of those too. But again, know what you're up against. Ottawa Senators, James Reimer, 8 shots on net through 2 periods, 17 attempts. It's not like you were shooting and missing. You weren't shooting at all.
No.
Give yourself a chance in the hockey game.
And there's situations here, too, where you're seeing plays break down, and Ottawa's coming from the other side of the ice to make some of these plays that, frankly, should not be happening.
No.
Like, you're sitting puck watching against the Ottawa freaking Senators.
Both of the first 2 goals against are your defensemen asleep. Mm-hmm. Brent Burns and Josh Manson let a guy 10 feet in behind them. Mm-hmm. Dylan Cousins has a clean breakaway. The second one, Keaton Middleton just gets lit on fire.
Yeah. You're looking for a win from a foot race out of that guy?
No chance. One thing Ottawa did great tonight was keep the play in front of them.
Yep.
And the Avs failed to do so. And this is not... Ottawa didn't come up and put up crazy numbers and just absolutely smoked the Avs. Shots at the end of the second period were 8-17. A pretty low event game, frankly, from Ottawa. It's just the Avs were magnitudes worse.
Yep. Can we go ahead and have the Keaton Middleton conversation?
We can. Here's where I want to start this conversation.
Okay.
Because was Keaton Middleton any good tonight? No. And I have a significant problem with what he did on the ice, and we'll get into that. But I have a far bigger problem with the Keaton Middleton conversation with the Avalanche roster decision guys, with Jared Bednar, with the front office, with the conclusion they came to put Keaton Middleton into this game at all.
Yep.
I understand the picture in their mind. You good, big guy, punch face, do damage. That made sense to me from what the first game against Ottawa was. And then he comes out here and doesn't do any of that.
Nope.
Does not hit anybody, does not throw hands with anybody. Yes, I know he picked up an assist in this game. I saw it. We all saw it. That was an Ottawa player flubbing a puck to an Avalanche player. Not a nice play from Keaton Middleton. I don't want to be that harsh on the guy because, again, Keaton Middleton is who he is. But the guy he is didn't do any of the things that was expected of him in this game.
Yep. And that's where I get really confused too, right? Is from the beginning of the season, from before the beginning of the season, in preseason, you saw how much trust Jared Bednar has in a guy like Jack Ashon.
Yep.
When Solovyov gets traded, that's the first name that comes up. It's to be expected that that's the guy that's going to get the call until you find some sort of replacement.
Yep.
You win in Toronto. It's I actually quite liked Jack Ashon during that game. And then he gets sent down. Yep. And I'm like, for what? For why? Like, I mean, again, it's part of me understands it. Again, because of how the last Ottawa game went. You're looking for some sort of physicality. You're looking for some sort of answer to that on the blue line. But also, you had the Keaton Middleton experiment last season.
Yep.
You know, Keaton Middleton is a guy that you know face value pretty much what you're getting.
Yeah, the Avs are almost certainly going to play him again tomorrow because it's a back-to-back and they have to travel and they have no other defenseman in their lineup, with the team rather, on the roster because they sent Jack Ashon back down to be with the Eagles. I don't see how you can play him again through the rest of this season. You brought him up to be a physical presence. He wasn't that, and he was an active detriment to the team on the second goal. And to be fair, everyone was awful tonight. This is not, this is Keaton Middleton's fault. No, not at all. But what you got out of him tonight was this call-up did not work.
Yes, Keaton Middleton was not the only bad player out there, but this is also something we talked about in the watch-along. If Jack Ashon is chasing that puck instead of Keaton Middleton on that second goal, there's a decent chance. I'm not saying, that puck doesn't go in if Jack Ashon's the one in there and Keaton Middleton's not. But I'm also not saying that.
We know Keaton Middleton has limited skating ability and is not the best defender. Not that Jack Ashon's an amazing defender, but I bet you he keeps that play in front of him. And maybe he loses the physical battle and it's in the back of your net. Jack Ashon has his shortcomings too. But that was not a play that you can look at and be okay with it. The same way you have to look at Brent Burns on the first goal and say, why is there a guy 10 feet behind you? Josh Manson too.
Yep.
The pairing together both let a guy 10 feet in behind them.
Yep.
I understand the Avs play a very aggressive defensive system, but you cannot just be giving away breakaways because you got outskated.
There was too much of that tonight. That was not the only breakaway situation that was given up. Blackwood made the saves that were expected of him.
Repeated 2-on-1s all night.
Yeah.
Cale Makar had to break up multiple. The third goal of this game is Sam Girard and Parker Kelly straight up not communicating with each other on a 2-on-1. It's just, you don't just go into a game and be superhuman and win. The Avs were so good for the first half of the season, not just because they're unbelievably talented, but they were getting so many of the little details correct.
Yep.
And virtually none of the details were correct in this game, top to bottom, for the entire lineup. Don't worry, we'll still get into some of the top guys, and lots of problems there too. We do need to take our first break of the show, though, so let's shout out a few of our sponsors, because I want to drive away. If you want something more reliable than any Avalanche player tonight, go get yourself a Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR, also the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche, so you can use it to drive away from this game as fast as possible. Whether you're conquering off-road trails or hauling the weight of the world, there's a Toyota vehicle that's just right for you. They have 17 different models with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive available, like the Epic 4Runner. Frankly, I'm more of an SUV guy than a truck guy. I like the extra seating. We also have dogs we can put in the back, so that's fun. But even then, Toyota has 16 different hybrid vehicles too. So if you just want to save money on gas, you can get a Toyota and get it set up. Even hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. So get to your local Front Range stores today, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Toyota, let's go places. And once you've got yourself a Toyota, you're also going to want to make sure you're ready for when an emergency hits and keep New Built Restoration and Construction in mind. New Built is a licensed general contractors who can help with any project, big or small. And if something bad does happen, they're available 24/7 and truly care about being there for their customers. They have over 600 reviews to prove this to be true. That was hard to say. Reviews that prove it to be true. They'll work with your insurance to make sure a stressful process is as simple as possible, and they offer a number of different services, including fire damage, water damage, mold removal, repair services, and they even do commercial projects. So make sure you're getting with New Built. They're true DNVR fans too, so they're part of the big family, and it's awesome to support their business the way they support us. So get with New Built Restoration and Construction today. When that home emergency hits, you can find them at newbuilt.com. That's NUBILT.com, or call 720-903-4254 and let them know that DNVR sent you. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I do want to shout out a couple of good things in this game. We're going to go back to being mad very shortly. Don't worry. It's fine. One, Parker Kelly. In a sea of guys who weren't working hard enough tonight, Parker Kelly was. And that's why he's the guy rewarded when Ottawa makes a mistake and puts a puck in the back of the net. Because he's there in the right spot, doing the right things. Well deserved from him. I think there are some other guys that the effort was there out of, at least. A Gavin Brindley. To be honest, I actually didn't like Val Nichushkin very much for a large portion of this game. But when put on the spot to finish a play, he did. He put a very nice backhand on a puck. Part of the reason why the Avs had a chance in this game.
Yeah. Parker Kelly has been a shining star in the last couple of games for the Avs, the last handful. And that's, as much as I love that he's the guy spearheading some of that, he's the guy that, you know, if a game's turning bad, like, you can expect some sort of pickup from him. That is not good enough.
Nope.
That is, like, when you're looking there and saying that a Parker Kelly is outperforming a guy like Valeri Nichushkin, outperforming a Nathan MacKinnon, outperforming a Martin Netjes, that's not the identity of this team. I love that it's happening. I love that, you know, for a good portion of this game, we felt like there was enough of a chance for the Avs to make a pushback, and that started with Parker Kelly.
If Parker Kelly is your best player in a hockey game, either something unbelievable has happened or you have a problem.
Yes.
And tonight you had a problem.
Yeah. So, like I said, there were a couple, like, you get a couple chances, and he spearheads a lot of that. And there were chances after his goal where I'm looking at him as being the best player on the ice out there for the Avs.
Yep.
Or at least the player giving them the biggest chance to win.
Yep. Even the 2-on-1, you know, where you could put some fault on him, but I put much more on Girard, and whatever happened to the other Avalanche D on that play, I'd have to go back and watch and see if it was a bad pinch or what. But you at least got the effort out of that guy. There are very few players I can say you got the effort out of tonight. Yeah. And this is the result you get.
Now, and I will say, too, that this was another one of those games where I really liked what Parker Kelly brought to his line as well, too, because of the few forwards that did get on the board today, or at least put shots on net, you see a guy like Zakhar Butterkov who has played with Parker Kelly a lot in the past. Some of those mannerisms are starting to come out a little bit, and I really appreciated that. Victor Olofsson, you see him play sometimes, but I don't know. Like there are little things from a guy like a Parker Kelly, from some of the other forwards taking shots like a Victor Olofsson. It's just I don't know what to make of some of this forward production.
I think Victor Olofsson is a very interesting conversation. I think he's getting more hate than he deserves right now because he is not a top line player. He's not. Go watch the last 3 games and tell me he's a top line player. You can't. He shouldn't be there. I get the Avs are restricted with some of their guys out and doing what they have to do. But even with the 1 goal he scored the other night, far too many plays are dead on his stick. And MacKinnon and Makar were awful tonight. That is not Victor Olofsson's fault. Victor Olofsson is sitting on 22 points this season? That is perfectly fine for a third line goal scorer with 10 goals. I know they come in spurts.
That's what he was to start the season.
Right. Like Victor Olofsson, you have no problems with what he's done on a third line. But you have clearly and definitively proven that he does not function well enough on your top line, regardless of the poor play of MacKinnon and Makar.
I will say I appreciate that Bednar started to understand a little bit of what he was getting out of a Victor Olofsson today.
Yep.
Moving him down the lineup. Yep. I don't have much confidence that that's how that's going to start next game, but it makes you kind of double take back to the beginning of the season where the starts that you're getting a Landeskog on the second line. Arturi Lehkonen is playing fine hockey on that first line. Fine.
Yep.
Like he's getting on the board. He's contributing in plays. He's getting in front of pucks, trying to create something in front of the net that looks remotely chaotic or dangerous in a good way. I just want to know what it is that a Jared Bednar sees from a Victor Olofsson, because he had a goal back at home.
He did.
And
surrounded by a not great game, but that goal was nice.
The goal was really nice, but I look at that, and obviously Bednar saw something that he liked during that game to keep this experiment rolling. I just want to know what it is.
Me too. I'd love to know. I don't. Maybe as much as anything, it was trying to keep that second line together, I guess. But I think we hit the breaking point in today's game of. Again, I would not be surprised to see him back there just because Bednar has limited options as to someone has to be in the top 6 that you probably don't love there. Mm-hmm. As long as Ross Colton is out at the very least, and maybe you don't love Ross Colton there right now given his dry spells, even if he does play quality hockey. So you have to do something, but I think we saw that reach its end point in this game. And again, does Victor Olofsson look better? If Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas look better? Almost certainly. But far too many pucks are just dead on his stick, time in and time out in the offensive zone and the neutral zone, that it's hard to keep living with that.
Yeah. For me, it's just hard to understand. Like, I understand if Landeskog is in the lineup. This is not even a conversation.
Right. Done.
But again, looking back at the beginning of the season, seeing how serviceable Lecky was on that top line.
Yep.
I don't know what you're getting out of maybe not trying that situation again and seeing what you can get. Because, I mean, MacKinnon and Lecky have proven they like playing together.
I do wonder how much of this is Bednar getting some extra experimenting in. Bednar seeing how far he can push some of these things. Because frankly, the Avs can afford some of that. You can really test and really give a guy an opportunity to see if he can figure it out on top line. And again, I think we've seen enough that it's clearly not going to work. But maybe there's something to be said of like, the Avs understand the score. They understand they can get away with a little bit here.
That's the only thing I can really think of here, too. Again, as much as I want these points to matter, as much as I want to sit here and like if I'm sitting in front of the Avs, I'm like, it doesn't matter if the Olympics are a week away.
Yep.
Like, play hockey. Like,
yes.
These points matter just as much as the points that you will be earning after the break. get your mind. It's not time to go to Italy yet.
Yep.
You are still playing active games right now, trying to put yourself in, and like you've got a decent lead. Don't be complacent with these points.
Yep. And it's not that it's forgivable, but it isn't all that surprising that some of your top players have their minds somewhere else right now. Knowing they're going to Italy in about a week. Okay. Not okay, but I understand it. You also have a bunch of dudes that are going to Cabo in a week that are not putting the effort in.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah.
That is you should be finishing out this portion of the season and then you can go on vacation. Keep your mind locked in. And really that's true of the Italy guys as well, but we give the top players passes because we know they're going to come back and be great.
The thing that I think I worry about too is we've mentioned, the MacKinnon skid that has continued from the last few games on. Brock Nelson not performing up to standard tonight was a bit of a shocker to me, I think. And maybe he deserves to have one bad game. And maybe he deserves to kind of lay an egg on a game a little bit. And that's what I'm trying to look at it as, because he's been a top performer for this team in the last few.
He has been. He's been great. At the end of the day, he's a second-line center for a reason, and that's because those guys that don't perform every night or the expectation isn't there. And I also think Brock was put in a weird spot tonight. And more than anything, maybe this is a saving grace for Victor Olofsson, because the Avs started putting Brock Nelson on that top line for a stretch too. They also used Nuke there, but there's a good bit where, at least for ozone starts, they were putting Nelson out with Natchez and MacKinnon, and it was awful. It was also awful. The common denominator there is MacKinnon and Natchez were awful tonight, not the third guy on their line.
No, absolutely. So, give props where props are due. It was just a surprise to me when you talk about guys who maybe might be in other headspaces right now.
Also going to Italy.
Yeah, no, that has not been the case for Brock Nelson
I
in
agree.
the last few.
He's been their best player probably in this low stretch for MacKinnon and Natchez, so at least best forward.
Yeah.
The other guy I want to talk about is Cale Makar. Is he broken?
The thing is like, he made a few good defensive plays.
Yeah, broke up some 2-on-1.
Yeah, broke up enough to be serviceable on the blue line.
Yep.
He also led, I'm fairly certain, everybody in shots on goal tonight on the Avs with 4.
And yet, none go in.
Yeah.
And maybe more concerningly, his highest danger opportunities missed the net entirely. Again,
that puck is still going to the sun, Rudo. It's still traveling.
It hasn't come down yet, for sure, so it must be up there. It really feels like a mental block for him at this point. And he scored a couple of nice goals, at the beginning of January, and we're thinking, all right, he's going to get over this, and we're going to go back to seeing awesome Cale, who's always finishing great. This isn't Jake Ottinger, man. You're not facing the best goalie on the planet. You're facing a guy who 3 weeks ago wasn't even in the NHL. And you're sailing those shots wide by a lot.
It's not just like, okay, you missed the net just wide. It's a game of inches.
Right. Those are not competitive hockey shots.
No. That's what makes it so aggravating, I think, for me, for Cale Makar tonight, is he's really great on the defensive side of the puck, and he's leading the entire team in shots. But you also see, that's momentary stuff from what you see from the majority of this game that Cale Makar is playing in. Yep. Is non-competitive hockey.
Yeah, are there levels of this? Sure. I'm glad that Cale Makar is at least willing to shoot the puck, unlike Nathan MacKinnon for most of this game. Mm-hmm. I think you have to look a little bit, and Cale Makar needs to say, you guys, Nathan MacKinnon, you lead the goal in the NHL in goals. You should probably shoot more, bud. It shouldn't be me every time.
Yep.
But also, there's a clear problem with Cale Makar shooting at this point. If he's going to be tasked to being the guy who needs to lead the team in shots, if he's going to be tasked with the guy that takes these high danger opportunities.
But that's the thing is he doesn't need to be.
He doesn't. He probably shouldn't, given what we've seen from the shooting.
No. If you have a Nathan MacKinnon and a Martin Netjes who are playing at their A game, that makes Cale Makar's job infinitely easier.
Give me their B game.
Yeah. No, Cale Makar doesn't need to be that guy that's leading the team in shots. There's no pressure there for him to rip pucks that don't even hit the net. They're not even anywhere close to the net. That pressure is not there. You can allow Cale Makar to do his job and find you on the sides wherever you need to be to rip the pucks that you need to rip.
Yep.
That is your job as a top line guy, as a superstar.
Forward score goals.
Superstars.
Forward score goals. You have to score goals. And will they get back to scoring goals after the break? Probably. I don't have...
After the break, you get a Landy and a Taves back. Roles change dramatically.
Well, even without the role changes, this is not a game where I'm going, oh no, the Avs have a deep-seated problem that's going to be an issue. No, they just need to show up for the next game, and almost everything in this game will be fixed, frankly. But it's not fun in the moment. It's not fun to sit here and go, you got your D game out of your top forwards, and your best scoring defenseman has forgotten how to shoot the puck effectively.
Yeah.
There's no silver line. I usually try pretty hard to have silver linings on this stuff. I have no silver lining for this game. It sucked.
Yeah.
That's it. We need to take the second break of the show, and then we'll get into even more frustrating stuff. So let's that'll be fun.
More.
let's hit the commercial break. Do you want to avoid disconnections like the way the Avs disconnected in this game? Well, that's where Xfinity Wi-Fi comes into play. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and it lets you stream the game even when the whole family is online. You can get in now with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. What if you could have that reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's what Xfinity is offering you. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger. But what about your Wi-Fi? It should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. You can learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Again, Xfinity.com. Select plans only. Restrictions apply, but get the Xfinity 5-year guarantee today. Once you've got your Wi-Fi set up, you're also going to want to make sure you're getting yourself checked out because, unfortunately, bad things happen in life, and Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers will have your back. Real ones know it isn't just about what happens on the ice. It's parking lot meetups, group chat discourse, and showing up rain, shine, or snow. Rocky Mountain Cancer Center stands with hockey fans across Colorado, treating more adults with cancer than anyone else in the state. Because fighting for each other is what great teams and loyal fans like you do, no matter the opponent. Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers are the official sponsors of Denver sports fans, and you can head over to RockyMountainCancerCenters.com to learn more and make sure you're getting yourself checked out today. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast here, talking about a frustrating one from the Avalanche. And it's just tough top to bottom when you look at what you got out of this game. Getting out of your own zone, nightmare tonight.
Neutral zone?
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Offensive zone, at least for the first 50 minutes, nightmare.
Passes couldn't connect.
Yeah, horrible passing.
Yeah.
All the way up and down the lineup. The Avs defense is weird right now. Mm-hmm. And we understand a lot of that is they're missing Devon Toews. We understand that even with Devon Toews in the lineup, they probably need another left-handed D. Mm-hmm. So essentially they're short 2 left-handed D tonight. I see people in chat talking about it. There's no chance they trade Brent Burns this year. None.
No. Brent Burns is a guy who, he could maybe make a case for himself next year, but I think with the way the Avs you see the move in Malinsky.
Yep.
And you wonder what the plan is for him. The plan has to be a serviceable third, fourth defenseman. If that's
You
the
wouldn't
case,
have signed
I
him
don't.
to that otherwise.
I don't see how, if that's the case, Brent Burns plays for the Avs next year. And if he does, it's not in the same role that he holds this year. Because
for sure.
you sign him to the contract that you do at the beginning of the season, during the offseason, to eat minutes.
Yep.
I can't say, and this is not the first game where I've had this thought of Brent Burns, but I can't say that I'm comfortable with a lot of the minutes that Brent Burns is playing.
It's clearly too much, and it's clearly showing up in the defensive zone. Brent Burns has done a great job of contributing offensively, probably more than what you reasonably expected out of him this season, but especially over this last stretch. And again, not young anymore, an absolutely brutal schedule. I have no doubt the time off will do him a lot of good. But the defensive zone is starting to become an issue for him in the sense of, look, odd man rushes are one thing. He's old, the legs are slow. When the Avs go out and get a proper lefty that can cover for him there, it'll be better. The end zone defense, the puck management has to improve. It has to improve for him.
I think yes, puck management is horrid right now for Brent Burns. For me, though, I look at how much speed, not just on the foot races that the Avs play with, but the way with which they move the puck. Brent Burns just isn't there. At least not anymore. There's a disconnect there where great shot volume guy, great at providing offense in some cases, great at providing some sort of, rebound or tip-in chance, whatever. In the offensive zone, that is not what you signed him to do.
Nope.
It's great that you're getting that out of him.
It is.
But in a situation where the Avs are really, really lopsided on defense, and you need something serviceable in the defensive zone, not just with that puck management, not just getting in front of pucks to stop some scoring chances, not just for a lot of the areas in which he is having those defensive lapses, but you expect him to play fast, connected hockey. You expect him to move the puck, move it fast, and move it well. And that's just not what you're getting out of him behind Colorado's blue line.
There's no fallback, right? If he's not moving the puck well, his legs can't bail him out. So it has to be good. And when it's not, you get into trouble.
Shows.
Yeah.
It is getting to the point where when Brent Burns has a bad game, you notice. When he's having mediocre to good games, that's the expectation here. Brent Burns does not have a bad game without it being very noticeable.
Right.
With this team.
It does
right
feel
now.
very boom or bust with him, for sure. I think that's a good way to put it. The other side that everyone's talking about in chat is Girard. I don't think we really need to get into specifics of how much he's on the block or not. But I do want to talk about what we saw from the defense tonight. And whether you love Girard, whether you hate Girard, whatever, not important. But keep in mind, if you trade Sam Girard and you don't get a defenseman back for him, you're playing Keaton Middleton every night.
That's why the Solovyov trade made such little sense.
I mean, it doesn't bother me just because I know the Avs are going to go get a lefty. But I do wonder if it's they go get a lefty and keep Girard.
I mean, in that case, then you're losing an Olofsson or you're losing a Colton.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what it's coming down to.
I think that's probably the case.
But at the same time, you look at the longevity that Samuel Girard has had on this team, and you look at the way that he provides for this team. He plays in a lot of vital areas for this team. I mean, he's a member of the penalty kill. He's puck-moving defenseman, which in games like this one, you expect a little bit more out of, especially when you're looking at some of those plays that fall apart, entering the offensive zone, getting through the neutral zone.
Yeah.
I just defensively, there have been too many lapses in his game for me to be okay with what exactly he is providing for the team right now.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Sam Girard is good enough or has been good enough for the Avs. I don't think that is the case. He had that nice stretch in late November, early December, where the production was a little bit better.
That's everybody playing well, though.
Right. The Avs were going on 10-game win streaks at that point in the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's...
My question with Sam Girard is, what is legitimately a better answer that the Avs can find? And maybe there's a trade out there that you can make that is a better answer. I'm not saying it's not, but how do you get that done? Because how many teams are going to say, yeah, we'll take Sam Girard off your hands and give you a better defenseman for him?
I don't know. There's not a big one.
Yeah.
On the market right now.
Right.
They're really like that. You have to go and dig in with teams to create a trade like this, especially considering, again, I don't know as though Sam Girard is doing a whole lot to boost his trade value right now.
But might be doing the opposite, to be honest.
So like that's where I sit, and you've still got a year left of him too. So like that's something that other teams are not going to be very keen on taking on.
Yeah.
Especially knowing what you're getting out of, which makes it makes that even more confusing to me, why there is so much trust. And I love when Sam Girard is having a good game, he's having a great game. Mm-hmm. Like I will say, like when he is on it, I understand where the trust is.
Totally.
But more often than not, especially lately, and I feel like this can apply to a lot of other players on this team than just Sam Girard at this current moment in the season. But for a guy that supposedly has this much trust from a Jared Bednar, you need more.
Frankly, I think it's hard to trust anyone on the Avs D-core given the last 11-game stretch.
It's really hard for me to fathom and break down and understand. I know I've brought this up a lot too. If Devon Toews is really that big of a difference maker, like it's yes, the defense that you're getting from him has been shut down this season so far. When you're like 19 times out of 20, you're getting the best possible defensive version of Devon Toews. It is very, very difficult for me to believe that this is like the reason we're seeing so much of the Avs D-core fall apart.
It's not just that. Like, let's not pretend like the Avs defense needs to play better regardless of Devon Toews. But I do think Devon Toews' absence has a bigger impact than just his existence, right? Devon Toews comes back into your lineup and his play alone makes you better, but it also means Sam Malinski's playing on your third pairing instead of your first. And that is a huge difference in the entire core of the Avs, in the sense of, with Sam Malinski on your top pairing, there are some nights where you understand they're just surviving.
Yep.
Sam Malinski's not a top pairing defenseman. No one's going to pretend like he is. He just signed a deal that you're hopeful he can be a second pairing guy. Mm-hmm. Him on your third pairing makes you a lot better. Him on your first pairing makes you worse. And that's just the reality of that situation. I think we understand what we're going to get when you put Manson and Burns together. And sometimes it's really awesome and fun. And sometimes it's an utter disaster. You don't know what you're getting out of that pairing on any given night. And having a Devon Toews back in your lineup gives you more flexibility to not do that if it's the bad night from Burns and Manson.
That's where going out and getting some sort of replacement really, really helps you.
Yep.
In a situation. Whether that replacement is for a guy, you have to imagine once Toews comes back, it has to be Sam Girard.
It's the only one that makes any sense, at least mechanically. And now, deadline will be what it is. We'll see what the Avs do. I don't have the ability to see the future. Otherwise, I'd get my crystal ball in the pregame right every time. So, we'll see how that plays out. But it is tough for me because ultimately all of these problems root back to the emotional maturity, or the lack of the emotional maturity from this team without Gabe Landeskog in the lineup.
It's nice to see him on the trip.
Yeah, look, Landy's going to come back at some point, whether it's before the break or after, whatever. The Avs will be fine. Mm-hmm. But watching the last handful of games from Nathan MacKinnon it's easy to see. It's human nature. Oh, Nathan MacKinnon's coasting through this game. Oh, our best player is coasting through this game. Well, that means I can take the night off too, right? That means I don't have to try that hard. If he's not going to try, if he tries hard, we'll win the game. But if he's not trying hard, I can get through my 10 minutes tonight and not think about it. It has to come from the top with these emotional things.
And knowing how emotional we've seen Nathan MacKinnon get in games, I think makes that a little more disappointing for me. You have an A on your chest for a reason. And that reason has not been very evident recently. It's hard. I understand that performing at the pace that you do every single night is difficult. But that is the expectation you are setting for yourself. You are a superstar for a reason. And I go back to it. You are a leader in this room. You have had 3 years to hone this voice among the slew of other voices in this room. Bednar's been very vocal about the fact how vocal this room is. I get that. But you are wearing an A on your chest for a reason, not just for being a good player.
Yep.
Yes, generally the good players wear the letters. You have an ability. I don't know. Nathan MacKinnon has this innate ability to pull greatness out of the players that he plays with and the players in the room that he leads.
Totally.
And that is the
when he
direct
wants to.
Correlation. No, it's not just when he wants to. You see it in games like this as well, too.
I didn't see much in this game.
Exactly. That's the point that I am trying to make is you get 5% effort out of a guy like Nathan MacKinnon, chances are you're seeing that 5% effort trickle down the lineup.
I agree. It's not a secret that Nathan MacKinnon is not going to be the most level-headed vocal leader. We understand that. And we let him get away with that because of his ability to lead by example, night in and night out. That guy goes out on the ice and dominates for the most part. And now you're sitting in his portion of the season where he has no goals in his last 4 games and just 3 points in his last 4 games, which is, for a second-line guy, pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. For a third-line guy, unbelievable. For arguably the best player on the planet, not good enough. Mm-hmm. And to cap off that 4-game stretch with a game where you are so blatantly phoning it in, accountability matters.
Yep.
There needs to be a little bit of accountability. I'm not saying, it's over, Mac's done. No, he'll be fine.
No, yeah. He's still, he can go the rest of this little stretch without doing a whole lot and be fine. But when talking about a player like Nathan MacKinnon, that is not the expectation.
Right. You have to go back to the hotel tonight or the airplane tonight, and you have to know that effort was not good enough.
It's a 2-hour bus ride, dude. You have there's a lot of thinking that can be done in 2 to 3 hours.
Yep. And the Avs could show up tomorrow and Nathan MacKinnon could have a hat trick and everyone's like, all right, cool, it was one stupid game and we move on with our lives. That's the idea. When you let these things string out, when you stop consistently putting the effort in, that's when you get into trouble. Some nights you have a great effort and you don't win. It's happened to the Avs multiple games this year. Mm-hmm. That's hockey. But when you're not putting the effort in to win, why'd you even show up in the first place?
And that's where I kind of get weird too, because again, there is the weirdness and the bird's eye view that this is the first game of a back-to-back.
Yep.
I find it so hard to believe. Like, there's saving legs for a back-to-back, and then there's whatever the heck that was.
I better see a full 60 tomorrow from this
There's
team.
no excuse for not playing a full 60
Nathan MacKinnon played 23 minutes. Okay, he skated for about 2 of those 23 minutes that he played tonight. Yep. Come on.
Like, there's no reason that the Avs should not go out and make Montreal look stupid tomorrow.
Which should feel like the Avs are coming off a 2 days rest tomorrow.
Which That's what tonight was supposed to be.
And it wasn't.
Reminder, they just got off of a 2-day break. They were able to practice in Toronto before flying out yesterday to get to Ottawa today or yesterday. They had a full night's rest at a hotel. Ideally, this is the game that you want more out of. And I understand Montreal is the better team right now.
Okay, had you won this game, we'd be sitting here saying, Montreal's a free roll. But that's not the world we live in.
Yep.
Now you got to go out and prove it in the next one because you proved nothing in this game. There's one other topic I want to get into, Bailey. Power plays were 3-0 in Ottawa's favor. I find it hard to believe that Ottawa committed 0 infractions in this hockey game.
They didn't.
But no one on the planet can sit here and tell me with a straight face that the Avs earned any power plays.
It's a shame too because the penalty kills they did go on were huge.
Yep,
tonight.
The PK was great.
They needed
awesome.
to be. But 2 of them at least should not have happened.
Yeah, probably not.
With the way this game was going, you cannot sit there and tell me this was equally called or that something more was not going on there. Like there were a couple different missed calls here that I did not appreciate being overlooked. At the same time, though, I'm looking at this from, I'm burned by history standpoint. And do we really see with the way the Avs were playing tonight that would have been a difference maker?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe something that's cause for more concern than just tonight in the sense of, the Avs didn't get any power plays tonight, and the general Avsosphere feeling is like, well, that's good because then they can't not score on them.
There's no shorthanded goals going the other way.
Yeah, right. Like,
I'm fine.
That's a concern. Some of red flags, alarm bells should be going off. Mm-hmm. That's the takeaway there.
Yeah, I don't know. I can talk about this until I'm blue in the face. I'm fine with them not getting one. I do think that there's a couple opportunities to be had there, but I also look at this team being one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league currently, and I'm like, they didn't play well then. Imagine what happened. We saw what happened when the 6-on-5 started happening, and that was
not great, Bob.
Aggravating enough.
Not great.
So I'm sitting there looking, am I really sitting there saying after watching that 6-on-5 happen that the 5-on-4 would have been any better?
Yeah, no faith at all.
None.
And I think maybe this is me just wanting to be frustrated. But you look at the last 10 minutes of this hockey game and you question where that was. Mm-hmm. And I get there's some human nature. Ottawa starts to sag off a little bit and this and that and the other thing. But this was not the Avs just didn't have it in them. They clearly did, and they screwed around for 50 minutes and then tried to bring it back when it was too little too late at the end of the game. And they have nobody to blame but themselves.
No, and that's not even the excuse either, because they have a couple missed opportunities where, bad defensive coverage in front of Blackwood. Ottawa fluffs it.
Yep.
And you sit there and look at that and say, okay, you almost just gave this up. Your goaltender bailed you out, or Ottawa made a stupid mistake that makes you sit there and finally take a breath.
Yep.
And you're not working off of that? That's not waking you up at all? That's not setting off any alarm bells in your head saying, we're playing like crap. We need to step this up. Like, there's multiple opportunities happening there throughout the game.
Yep.
And you wait till the last 50 minutes to start and sit there and say, oh, shoot, we're playing a hockey game today.
Not a recipe for winning. Against Ottawa, against Tampa, and against anyone else in the league. Waiting around to the last minute to say, all right, let's figure it out, is how you end up losing a game 5-2 in which you frankly didn't show up in.
And they've done this so much this season too, which is, I think, one of the more aggravating parts for me is too many times have we seen this same exact story with Nathan MacKinnon this season, where you see 50 minutes, 55 minutes of bad hockey, and all of a sudden Nathan MacKinnon starts looking like Nathan MacKinnon again, or Martin just starts transitioning the puck a little bit better, or, other guys come out to play, and that's so aggravating, especially in a game like this, where you look at the final score and you're like, that only happens because you're giving up too many opportunities on a 6-on-5 where you should be scoring, or you didn't capitalize on some of those other really dangerous opportunities. I'm looking at Brock Nelson specifically in front of the net during the first period, and I'm like, there's situations like this that could have changed the tide here, and you chose to do nothing about it.
It does feel a little bit like in mid-December, the entire league was that Aaron Paul meme. They can't keep getting away with it, with the way the Avs were coming back in games and how unbelievably good they've been in the third period. Okay, it's come back down to earth. And you know what? Yeah, you can blame injuries. Yeah, you can blame the Olympics coming up. You can blame a ton of things.
You've got too many good players on this team for that to be the only factor.
I don't care what you blame. I care how you fix it. And if nothing else, better to learn this lesson in January than in April.
I don't know. While I agree there, I wholeheartedly agree. At the same time, though, you're also talking about the team with injuries.
Yep.
Cale Makar, Martin Necas, Nathan MacKinnon. 3 of the best players currently in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing on a team that for over half of a season have preached a 60-minute effort and a next man up mentality. That has been the name of the game for this team. That has not been anywhere close to the identity they have lived by.
No.
In the month of January.
Remains true since the Florida and Tampa losses were pushing on 10 games ago. Since then, every single game the Avs have played, the team that scores first has won.
Mm-hmm.
Start the game on time.
Yep.
Start the game on time, you'll win. It's not that complicated.
Where is the team that we saw with, scoring within the first minute or two?
They were doing it regularly in the first half of the season.
Yeah. That team has off the face of the planet.
And in a lot of ways, I think this gives me confidence because we know that team's still in there. We know the Avs are going to get guys back. We know they're better than these poor showings. So hopefully these poor showings are put in this box, put in January, and I wouldn't say forgotten about, but understood that that's not who the Colorado Avalanche are, and they get back to doing the things correctly to be the most dominant team in the NHL. We know they can do it. The Leafs looked uncompetitive against the Avs last game.
Yep. They can pull it out of teams. Yep. They know how to. I will be concerned if you go the rest of this road trip and Toronto is the only team you win against. Or at least only the team you only get a point out of.
Montreal's going to be tough, regardless of. I want to see the Avs play much better. I do. Mm-hmm. But I understand there are limitations there. That Detroit game needs to be a win. Mm-hmm. Full stop. Yep. You have to win that one.
Which makes it even harder too, knowing that one's like a weird matinee situation. Yep. And
arguably one of the best teams in the East this year. But so what? No excuses.
You don't have to worry about that if you get the win against Ottawa tonight.
Correct. You could have set yourself up for guaranteed success. You could be 2-0 on the trip. Instead, you laid an egg, you're 1-1 on the trip. And once again, when you lose, it's about what you do tomorrow. Bailey, I am ranted out. I have nothing left. Is there any final thoughts on this one before we get out of here?
I got none.
Cool. Well, we'll keep it easy with the one super chat we have to get to here from Ryu, who says, can we actually see how many turnovers we've had this season? I feel like it's an insane amount. Maybe I'm just overreacting.
No, you're not. I promise, you're not.
I actually don't think it's an obscene amount relative to the league. I think the Avs turn it over more or less as much as anyone. Long-standing problem for the Avs is that these turnovers lead to egregiously high danger chances against.
It wouldn't be a big issue if they were positionally sound.
Right.
Yeah, I do agree there.
I actually think there is some give and take there because the Avs want to play a certain way, and that's fast, high-paced hockey. And they are willing to sacrifice some bad turnovers because they want their forwards to fly the zone sometimes. They want to get that speed and that pace up on teams to chase it down their throats. And some turnovers are acceptable in that range. It's just that too many have happened for Colorado. They need to rein it in a little bit. You need to see a little bit more responsibility from your forwards. Make sure you have that clean possession before you start flying the zone. Not something I'm overly worried about, but something that needs to get better.
I think if you have more guys that play back-end type hockey who can win those foot races and,
Keep playing this cock.
if you have more guys like that on your roster and can utilize that makes your life infinitely easier.
It does.
If that's the style of hockey you want to play, you got to be able to rely on the guys on your back end to pick up that slack. And right now, that's just not feasible for this team.
Yep. You have to live with what you got. Game itself, oh my God, light it on fire.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the Colorado Avalanche are still at the top of the NHL. That's going to do it. We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us on this one. Hope the vent session was enjoyable because the game certainly wasn't. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Postgame Show presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.